Well, let's quickly go on home stretch now. Now, the Kwara State's Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed says he plans to increase internally generated revenue of the state as part of efforts to make it an economic hub. In an interview with Channels Television, Governor Ahmed states that his administration will also focus on agriculture development, among other initiatives.
These are trying times for states, especially coming out of the last few years, where we've not seen much of congruence going on with respect to policies in monetary and fiscal areas of the economy. I'm happy the fallout of yesterday's Economic Council meeting is given a strong direction to put in corrective measures to these areas so that states can properly plan. And it's at the backdrop of this that as a state, we're trying to strengthen our internally generated revenue scheme. This will see us changing the people, the process, and of course the technology that will drive the process. That will give us a new platform for internally generated revenue. We expect this to make our revenue inflow twice, 3, 4 times what we used to have. And of course it will keep growing, because it's a new system which we feel will change the way we used to do things. So we expect to see new results. Hopefully this will translate into the much desired revenue inflow that would support access to bigger funds to drive the much expected dividends of democracy. Yeah, in terms of Naira and Kobo, we're actually cruising about, on the average of about 800 million per month. And we hope this is clearly understated. By the time we electronically drive the system, we expect to see a lot more. Largely, corrections would come in from the collection process. It's not about maybe putting additional pressure on people to pay new taxes. It's going to be more of changing the way and manner we used to collect taxes. We want to be a lot more effective and efficient so that we begin to see the true results of what the internal generated revenue of the state should be like. We're doing technology integration, and also we're introducing a stronger accounting system to the banking arrangements we have. Because, for instance, we'll be doing single revenue account. We will ensure that all funds accruing to the state government are seen from one big picture. We sought to raise 23 billion Naira bond from the capital market last year, but we had to slow down because, of course, it's not unconnected with the dwindling revenues then, which, of course, you know, would require to support the repayments. So we had to wait until we're having a lot more stable revenue inflow, which will guarantee repayments, and that would see us accessing funds to drive key areas in roads, in water, in health, in education, and of course improve security. You see, don't forget there's a huge pressure on Ilorin as a state capital, because not only because it serves as a gateway between the north and the south, it's also becoming a good environment for people to sit and grow their businesses. So we see growth and pressure on the infrastructural area, and that of course would put pressure on state governments to improve on all the services, and that has necessitated our desire to raise revenues and function as a very efficient state through application of these revenues into driving the much desired infrastructure that would become much more attractive to prospective investors. If you look at it, it concentrically fits into the idea of efficiently driving our revenue, because, like I said, the federally allocated funds is getting to dwindle. As exogenous as it is, we require to look at endogenous factors where we can control our inflows and drive good support for infrastructure. And of course, we see that until we put this in place, we will not be able to get the much desired platform to support infrastructure. It's only infrastructure that would allow investors to come. When you have good roads, you have good water supply, you have security, and people are very friendly, you begin to see people flowing in to support the growth of the local economy. And we're already on that platform. Kwara State will see itself using its revenue to drive a lot more enabling environment to make it enabling not only for the subnationals within the borders, but of course, the major part of northern Nigeria to take advantage. I want to assure you that we're just starting and we'll get there. The benefits of what we're putting in place will truly translate by the administrations that will come much after us. And it will get to that level when Kwara State will begin to play the much desired role of being the gateway between the north and the south. We are taking advantage of the coming in of the white farmers that came from Zimbabwe to drive commercial farming, to see how much of technology and support we can get from them to drive the local farmers. I'm happy to let you know that we've evolved a scheme which we call the demand-driven off-takers agri scheme. This has enabled us to see how commercial agriculture truly works by creating a chain and seeing how intervention can go at different levels of the chain. As it is today, we've been able to link up our local farmers who have been compartmentalized into cooperatives and supported with the central bank funding scheme. We've been able to link them up to the desired off-takers, and they've signed an MOU. This has seen them growing specific crops, expecting to give specific outputs, and of course, allow them to do proper planning for growth and development. And we intend to expand that scheme with the next growing season, where I would see each of the farmers also forming a cluster of farmers who would copy and do the same thing that he has done to support the scheme. So by and large, it's like a concentric circle growth system where our farmers will grow organically to truly translate the whole farmers in the state into understanding agribusiness beyond just subsistence farming that we're used to. Because the real challenge had been tying up the farmers with the off-takers. Once you can create a good intervention scheme there, then you are de-risking the business and allows farmers to see from inception how much they can inflow into the business and how much they'll make out of it. And that is how we intend to drive farming and agriculture across the state. And I'm happy to let you know that our farmers are already buying into this scheme. And we've supported that scheme with also what we call an agric mall. An agric mall is a one-stop shop where our farmers are expected to go and access inputs. We have representatives of different inputs, i.e. extension farmers support scheme. We have equipment support scheme there. We have feed like seeds and other chemical support scheme there. So the representatives will be there and would attend to farmers that come in there to require information and support. And of course, that also will make them have access to the single-digit funding window that we have on ground. So by and large, you see, we've taken what we learned from our commercial farmers to see how commercial farming can truly be broken down into small schemes that our local farmers can drive commercial farming for a living. You see, part of the change process which this administration is coming with at the federal level is we'll begin to see the correctness of policies, both monetary and fiscal. This we expect to translate into making it a lot more enabling for prospective investors, especially knowing fully well that as a country we're highly dependent on independent food. There's a lot that is being imported in chicken, fish, milk, etc. We must begin to see how this is backwardly integrated and drive and stimulate the local business. And this is what this administration stands for. So as a state, we are properly positioned, firstly, to drive the IPP to ensure that power is available. So we're trying to see how to partner with prospective power investors who would create clusters of powers in potential industrial areas in the state. We've already spoken to a few Chinese textile producers who have agreed to come and complete the textile finishing here in Kwara State. So between you and me, it's a whole lot of opportunity for us as a state to take advantage of the capacity to backwardly integrate, create employment, and of course, create a major hub for industry in the zone. So Kwara State is going to take an advantage of that, and we are properly positioned to see textile, for instance, as one of the first ones we want to take advantage on. Hopefully, before the year runs out, we've earmarked land, we've gotten an investor. Within the next few weeks, we'll be signing an agreement on how to set up a textile hub, starting with complete finishing, and of course, steadily backwardly integrate to create this hub. You see why we're picking textile, because textile is one of the biggest employer of labor. And we'll see that directly employing between 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people immediately. And indirectly, of course, that triples in different ways. That's why we're trying to take advantage of textiles. And we know that textiles is something that our people rely on. African textiles and other things that our people take advantage of importing from China, for instance, and other countries. So that's why we're trying to take you from that and truly drive Kwara into being also the textile hub for Nigeria. I know, the last administration spent some money to set up a fantastic cargo terminal with capacity to store agri-produce. We're already talking to a few companies who are interested in participating from a public-private partnership perspective, which we're sure the policies in this administration will make it a lot more enabling for private investors to participate. With that, supported with our aviation college, and of course the Air Force has its presence in the airport. We intend to see ourselves also coming up with capacity to drive aviation hub within the North Central Zone. So these are also part of the areas Kwara State intends to position itself.
The Chief Executive of Kwara State, Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, really now plans, economic plans that is, for the states. That's one state you've got to keep your eye on. And that's the program for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. I'm Harriet Agbinyi. Have a profitable day.